Kieran Trippier wants out of Newcastle. Could Marc Guehi be coming in? Buongiorno everyone, welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV. Loads of huge transfer updates, official from The Athletic, now confirmed by Sky Sports. Today, for Newcastle United's transfer news. Let's start off with the most recent one before we eventually get into the Marc Guehi saga that is still going on, but I'm telling you, it will get done. I've said it all along. Even yesterday when Disassi and Tapsobo linked, I said the Guehi deal's still on the table. The podcast the day before that said it would happen. Still sticking by it. And I said all along this summer as well, as recent as Monday night, when we're seeing him play for the under-21s, that Kieran Trippier would leave Newcastle this summer. And you see other YouTubers, content creators, people on Twitter and that saying, he's staying, he's never going to leave. They were even saying that on Monday night. So, honestly, some people are just... So, yeah, but in Magpie Channel, trust. Do you know what I mean? In Magpie Channel, you got to trust, all right? Because Trippier is going. Said it all along, and now it's came out that he has told Newcastle United he wants out. He wants to leave this window. So Trippier wants that move in the next week or so before the summer window slams shut. As he wants first team football. He's obviously found out after last weekend being on the bench, unused substitute, that he hasn't got first team football lined up this season for the Magpies. The ex-captain has now been, I wouldn't say a brush to say, but he's on the bench. He's second choice. Tino Livramento is the tunes starting right back. Trippier's not happy with that. Trippier doesn't want that. Trippier wants first team football. He's 33 years old, does turn 34 in the next couple of months, but he does want first team action. We've obviously seen recently when he was out in Dubai having meetings with Saudi clubs, and back in January he was linked with Bayern Munich. They put a bid in, rejected by Newcastle. I said that, I'm saying that was strange, should have accepted it. And now it's a bit of a downfall for him, bit of a downgrade. From Bayern Munich to Everton. Everton are the team that are leading the race to sign Kieran Trippier. They are among other suitors, so he might not end up at Goodison Park. But Sean Dyche is in talks with Eddie Howe in Newcastle to bring him to Merseyside. He wants him at Everton. Now, obviously, Dyche and Trippier worked together very closely for a few years. Back in 2012, I believe it was. He was his manager then on various podcasts. Dyche and Trippier talk very highly of each other. They really get along well. They're still in contact to this day and are good friends, rate each other professionally and as mates. So that's the link there. The other link is obviously it's very close to Bury, where Trippier's from, where his family's from. So it allows him to be a lot closer to home, retirement home. It's not too far of a drive to Bury and stuff. So being down there in the northwest, that would obviously help Trippier. But I've got to say, and on this as well, prime Brexit ball, yeah? You know what Dyche is like. All he wants is set pieces. All he wants is balls into the box. There would be endless crosses from Trippier to try and get into Calvert-Lewin's head. And Beto, that other striker, if he's still there, just lump it into the box, yeah? Brexit ball, prime Brexit football would be back under Dyche if it wasn't already. If he managed to get Kieran Trippier to the toffees. Trippier likes a bit of toffee. But yeah, listen, I'm surprised at that one. I said he'd leave all summer long. I definitely thought it would be to an America or to a Saudi Arabia. Not to Merseyside. Not to be amongst the Scousers. They're at Everton. Yeah, didn't see that one coming, to be honest with you. But the other thing that no one's seen coming was that he's actually signed a contract extension last year, Trippier. So this didn't come out either. Everyone assumed that he had 1 year left on his deal. But according to The Athletic, they are stating that his contract actually runs out in 2026. So it's not that one where Newcastle feel they have to cash in now, which is what everyone was saying. Everyone was thinking that, let him go on a free next summer. Doesn't make sense. And how much money can you demand after turning down the 10 to 12 million from Bayern Munich back in January? But with this one, Everton are in contact with Newcastle United to explore a loan move. A loan move. I don't see how that benefits us in any way, shape or form, to be honest with you. Yes, they'd pay his wages, but surely I'd rather just keep Trippier on the bench. I know obviously he's going to be unhappy. He's going to be very pissed off. He doesn't want to be sitting on the bench. But that loan move doesn't help us at all. So no thank you, Everton. And anyone else that wants him, I want at least 10 million. And I think that's reasonable. He's just played in the Euros all the way to the final. He is still a decent player. I think he can sort his head out and we know all the off-the-field stuff. But if you can get back to what he was doing at the start of last season for Newcastle, and obviously the year before that, he's a really, really top player with loads of assists and contributions to the squad and leadership qualities on and off the pitch. So I'd want at least 10 million for him. Well, I think 10 million is about fair. Listen, we paid 12 million for him as the first signing post takeover in January 2022. So 2.5 years later, does turn 34 this year. I think 10 million is a fair and sound deal. And when he does go, I think Trippier should be remembered very fondly and very respectfully by Newcastle United fans, because he took the leap, he took the plunge as our first signing after that takeover, leaving from Spanish giants Atletico Madrid to come to relegation doomed Newcastle United. Was amazing. No release clause in there. Really wanted it, and was flying for Newcastle in that first 18 months or so. You know, he was brilliant for us. Real captain, real quality. So big respect to Trippier for coming to the tune. But you know, this has been on the wall list, hasn't it? The transfer's been in the waiting for me. His performances have dipped. The off the field troubles. Bruno's now got the armband. Tino's there, ready-made replacement. It just makes sense. Obviously, performances last season, he cost winning the Carabao Cup, he cost winning other games in the Prem. So yeah, it's time to move on. I'm afraid that's football, that's life, but huge respect, and you'll go with my well wishes, Kieran Trippier. And now, who will come in with my big well wishes is Marc Guehi. This one is edging closer, according to Sky Sports News. Finally, it looks to be coming to an end. We'll hope so. Anyways, I think this one will get done this weekend. To be fair, I do. It'll be too late for the Bournemouth game, unfortunately, but I think Guehi does get done this week in time for the window to shut. At least, you know, week on Friday. So I'm optimistic about that. I'm confident. I've said all along I think the Guehi deal will get done. I put a tweet out this morning before the Sky Sports stuff all came out, and I even said it in the podcast the other night again, where I was just saying, like, we've came too far now. If it wasn't going to happen, we would have walked away. The whole Disasi links and all that, Tapsoba, they were all just a push for Palace. They were just a push to Palace to wake up and be like, accept the offer. Let's get negotiating, or we will look elsewhere. But it's clear as day, it's been Newcastle United's number one target all summer long, Marc Guehi from Palace. And now it looks like it will be getting done as it edges closer. So Sky Sports are reporting here, Newcastle are getting close to reaching an agreement with Palace. There is cautious optimism a deal could be struck by the weekend, with Palace privately accepting it would be beneficial to cash in now when Guehi's stock is at its highest after the Euros. Further talks were held in the last 24 hours, and a package of 65 million plus add-ons is likely to see a deal struck. So a combined total of 70 million pounds for Marc Guehi. So picky Parish the Prat, greedy Parish is going to get what he wants, 70 million quid. And it will obviously be a club record fee for Newcastle United, more than what they paid for Alexander Isak, that's £63 million a couple of windows ago. So Guehi would be our record signing, £70 million for the centre-back. But listen, it's the modern day. Is it too much? Of course it is. Of course it is. Guehi's probably 50 million, but I think 60 million, I could see it. I could see why. But 70 million is a lot. But he's the number one target off the back of the Euros. Age on his side, captain in the Premier League. Is what it is. Listen, buddy, Harry Maguire went for more to Man U years ago. So it shows where we're at. It shows where transfer window's at. But this one, I'm confident it'll get done. I've always been saying, I think the Guehi deal will eventually happen. We've just went on for about 3 weeks now. But when you get so far and we don't walk away and Palace don't reject that last bid officially, obviously they have technically because we've had to rise to 70 million. But you know, the negotiations have kept going. They know how strongly Guehi wants to move. They know how much we want him. That's why they've held us to ransom. We've had to pay extra. Especially Shaw's sending off doesn't help. And, you know, it doesn't look like it's going to get done by noon tomorrow, where you'd have to announce him. So he could play against Bournemouth. But yeah, the Guehi deal, I think will get done. It's edging closer according to Sky Sports. It looks like £70 million will be enough to see him sign for the Mags. So good news there on that transfer front. I think Guehi will come in. I think Trippier will leave, as also along we've been talking about it here on the channel. Let's wait and see as the developments progress, whether Trips goes to Everton, whether it officially gets announced that, you know, Guehi will be joining Newcastle. I think that'll be in the next couple of days or so. And we'll all look forward to that being wrapped up, because that's been one hell of a transfer saga, the Marc Guehi one. And has went on for weeks. So we'll be glad to see the back of it, but glad to see him in a Newcastle United shirt. So let us know what you think will happen with Trippier as well. Apparently Eddie Howe wants to keep him, but Trippier wants first team football. Will he go to Everton? There's even Atlanta in Italy and Galatasaray in Turkey interested as well as, of course, the Saudi Arabian club. So there's options on the table for Kieran Trippier. Subscribe to my channel TV. Give this one a like. Enjoy yourself.